Episode 3. Hello, this is Andre Davis, and about 3 years ago, I did a series of YouTube videos that focused on the following question. What are the things holding America back from the realization of successful, affluent African American communities being the norm and not the exception? When I first recorded this about 3 years ago, I titled it the reference video, and it will remain the reference video. It will cover the topics that I anticipate covering in order to answer that question. But like I said in the other videos, the exploration of these topics has led to the book that you're looking at your screen. I want you to enjoy this and enjoy what's to come. Okay, here you go. Please enjoy. If you're looking for a good book to read, Our Two Societies is available on Amazon, and in print, e-copy, and Audible. We're back. This is the third episode, and what I hope to be many episodes because we're covering a huge topic, really complex, really controversial, and basically it's a new narrative on racism. And I believe we left off on our last episode with me defining success and setting the foundation from which we move forward with that definition in mind. Today, I'm going to talk about why I feel my dream is important. And if you don't know what my dream is, it is basically the realization of affluent black neighborhoods that are deemed successful regardless of who you are, regardless of your race, creed, whatever. On any spectrum, these neighborhoods would be considered successful and the norm. Now, why I believe the realization of this dream is important is because of our future. And as I told you in the last episode, I'm currently an executive search professional, and I deal with people and their qualifications on a daily basis, particularly in the field of technology and law. And so when I think about people living in Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, South Central LA, the people growing up in those cultures, when I think about them, I just think about how unqualified a lot of those people are for the jobs of present-day jobs and present-day careers in science, technology, education, mathematics, and especially jobs for the future. So with that in mind, we have to get on the road to making that dream a reality, that dream of multiple black affluent neighborhoods, and making that the norm. Because if not, we're in deep trouble. I'm talking about survival, not just, I can't afford a new pair of Jordans, but literal survival. I think I should go back to or give some contrast in the present, past, and future. So present day black America, which I'm talking in generalities. I know it's some exceptional black people. I'm not talking about exceptional black people. I'm talking about the average, everyday black person living in Detroit, Chicago. I keep saying St. Louis, but that's what's coming to mind. So back in the day, say in the 50s, 60s, if you were black and you were living in the South, you could, go up north, get a job in Detroit. That's what my family did. You could raise a family, get a house, 2 cars, with a 8th grade education. and retire with a pension, okay? That life is over. And so we need to prepare for the future, okay? And the future is basically the automation of jobs. So if you are in a profession that is easily automated today, 20 years from now, that profession won't exist. I'll give you a real quick example. IBM's Watson, that you all may know of, that won on Jeopardy, the computer that played and won on the game show Jeopardy. Watson has a subpart, I believe. I guess you could forgive my terminology here, but I believe it's a subpart that they're calling Ross, R-O-S-S. And Ross is basically a research attorney that they are licensing to law firms. So a lot of attorneys, a lot of the work of attorney is discovery and doing a lot of research. Well, that now can be done with software. So I'm not saying that all attorneys will be out of business, but a lot of attorney work will be replaced with software. Just like a lot, maybe it took 100 people to make a car back in 1960. Well, it probably takes 10 people and a robot. So while our politicians are trying to protect us from immigrants and trade deals, who's protecting us from technology? You can only protect yourself, and how you protect yourself is by preparing for it. Okay, so now let's get to what I really want to talk about today, and that's just an introduction of some of the subjects we'll cover over the course of this thing. A new narrative on racism, okay, and how to get to. Someone's texting me. How to get to a just level of social equality here in America, okay? Because I think that's the key. Getting rid of racism, extinguishing racism is a facade. That's not it. A just level of social equality, that's the key. And we'll get into that for sure. So some of the subjects we'll discuss, this is by no means all of them, but here it goes. We talked about the definition of success. We'll get into Plessy, the famous case, Plessy versus Ferguson, the subject of whiteness as a property right, social equality versus legal equality, and we'll get into the cult of racism, race hustlers. We'll talk about Ayn Rand a little bit. She's very controversial. A lot of people have made her a political figure. I don't want to talk about her in that way. She has a great definition on racism that I definitely want to share with you. We'll talk about race hustlers and self-responsibility, or race hustlers versus self-responsibility. Embracing mistakes, and the concept of being less reliant on government. Okay, this isn't a political point of view. I know it sounds like a conservative Republican, but it's just a way of looking at life. Let's look at it that way, and be open-minded about it. We'll just explore, and this is really exciting to me, Afro-American culture and its origins, along with Black identity, okay? We'll also explore facts about the legacy of slavery and its effects in present-day America. And we'll talk about that great subject, reparations. And so that's what we have to look forward to. And I'm going to end it here today. I just wanted to do this as a reference video, because if it ends up being like 50 videos and you want to know, well, what does this all entail? What's the narrative on racism? How many subjects are we going to cover here? You can come back to episode 3. It's right here. I'm sure I'll add more subjects to it, but what I just brought up, I mean, I can talk about these things for years because I have been. And I'll do my best to bring facts to the table, not rhetoric. I'll bring the research, the documentation. I'll allow you to go look it up for yourself. And let's have some fun with this. So until next time.